I think it's important that people know that you and I are just two real people that met on the streets of a union picket. These things are going on all over Hollywood. There are several different people of several different unions fighting for several different things, and we seem to be on the precipice of this massive change and like turn of events in Hollywood with AI, the introduction of AI, and some other things. But here you and I are, two people walking down the street. We won't talk about any of the shows that we love, obviously,
Yeah,
because we don't
that's fine.
we don't
Although,
want to get in trouble with our union. But we were there, and we represent many shows, and we were picketing, we were walking out there, we were sweating on the streets, and you came up, and I had tweeted out something about getting in touch, I want to expand this podcast. I want to expand this show. I want to talk to anybody and everybody, from celebrities to the everyday man and woman, and in their job and in their profession. So I'm glad you called me out and you said, "Hey, are we going to have a conversation or not?" And
right.
you mentioned your husband, and that's all I know. Tell
Okay.
us your name. Tell me what you do. Tell me why you want to have a conversation regarding the strikes whatsoever, and then we'll get into it.
Okay. I'm Stephanie Durning. I'm just a regular girl. My husband's been in IATSE Local 16 in San Francisco for 25 years. And I consider IATSE my family. My husband he was retired, but he's still very active. And when he was working, he was very well recognized. And anything that affects any part of the entertainment industry really affects, it spreads throughout. There are about 5 that are considered an entertainment family: IATSE, SAG-AFTRA, Teamsters, Writers Guild, and
DGA.
yes, sorry.
It's all right. There's a
It's
lot of them out there. I'm surprised you remembered them that fast, because I would have had to get out the pen and the paper and start remembering what letters go in which order.
right. So anyway, unions have always been really important to me. Aside from the entertainment industry, my dad was a very famous negotiator between employers and unions for his whole life. He kind of instilled in me the importance of unions, and so now this is kind of meshed into entertainment industry, which means a lot to me.
Yeah.
There are a couple things. One is the entertainment industry really has an effect on how people think, what they're focusing on. If these studios are the ones that ultimately have all the control, then you're only just really getting one viewpoint, what they want you to see.
Sure.
So I encourage everyone. I have, through my own union, really encourage everyone that has any that can help to help, whether you're in one of these unions or not. The sister unions, IATSE has always been very supportive of. What happens to one goes across the board.
Yeah.
IATSE members, which are the stagehand technical aspect of it, we're suffering. It's really hitting us hard.
Yeah, hold on. I want to stop you right there. Talk about that a little bit, because this is something a lot of people don't understand. People on the outside of this are going, "Oh, a bunch of rich actors that aren't doing their $1 million movies are walking down the sidewalk with spritzer fans," and that's what they think the strike is. But really, let's talk about the crew members. The blood, guts, and glory of every movie and every television show that exists here, that wouldn't exist without every drip of sweat and blood drop. So talk to me a little bit about how they're affected and what's going on there.
Absolutely, that's exactly right. You see the actors, and by the way, I hate that when people say, "Oh, they're all rich, they're just trying to they don't need anything," because that's not true, for one
Yeah.
thing. But aside from that, in IATSE, you've got costume makers, you've got every aspect of behind the scenes IATSE is involved in. My husband, I'm just he's done so many things in his union. Sets. My husband worked on 13 Reasons and it was shot up here in some areas. He built most of the sets for that. And he had to be on set. You know, the actors, I mean, the directors say, "Hey, we'd really like an angle from inside this locker." Well, that's where my husband came in. Um, and all of these people, there's no work.
Yeah.
That's an extreme statement. There are some things that are some jobs, but
Sure.
for example, Chicago, the union in the local in Chicago for IATSE has now talked to its members about, because they've used up, or well, they've started to really deplete their health and welfare uh, reserves for it.
Yeah.
So their employees need to have, you know, they need, you got one guy has a pregnant wife. He
Right.
needs he needs that. So they're getting nervous. But again, the most important thing is just to support the whole picture while trying to get their personal needs met as well. And it's really important. Um, I'd like to list some other things that are IATSE. But it's really hard when I'm on the spot. I tend to.
No, that's all right. Listen, it's understood. You said so many valuable things there. Just going back to your dad being doing carpentry work and set building on set,
Oh,
and
that was
having to change on the fly for certain projects needing a certain angle, and a director or producer, you know, having a request, being able to fulfill that live in person and in real time, and not costing the production another day's worth of value on all the members and whatnot. These crew members are wildly important, and again, nothing, it's like you said, there's not no work, but there's not a lot of work, right? SAG wants I believe SAG-AFTRA is trying to push the kind of independent projects, as long as they accept the interim contract, which I don't see a problem with that. But still,
right.
that's not a full a pedal to the metal, full bore Hollywood where everybody's out there working and we're running from job to job and everybody's feeding their kids and, you know, paying their rent. And so this is
Absolutely.
where we're at. We got a million people or close to in Hollywood not really working, and it's
Absolutely. And I can tell you, you know, you hear a lot in the news about AI.
yeah.
My husband's, you know, the IATSE union has done a lot over the years using computer generated images, CGI. And at least from my husband's point of view, it's pretty scary, especially how it affects our unions, because you have, you know, you have a scene where you called in all these extras and you film it, and what the studios want to do is be able to keep your image. They can create a whole crowd in the future. They don't have to give you any money. That's some scary crap.
Yeah.
With
Yeah. No, you're right. 100%. And here's the thing. It's not just like look, listen, AI is going to exist. It's going to have to be incorporated, but we got to look out for each other somehow, some way. There's no way to get rid of AI, but let's just like break it down, right? Let me be like the layman. Let me be the let me give you the bro science of what I think. So AI has an algorithm that learns based on everything that exists out there entertainment wise, whether it be dialogue, cinema, pictures, stop motion, this, that, the other thing, and everything in between that everybody in Hollywood and all of arts and entertainment has already created.
Right, right.
So we have now trained this monster. We should at least be aware, like our own children, right? I'm a father of an 8-year-old. I love him to pieces. He's my whole entire world. But the things that drive other people crazy about me, he has those same things. So, like, let's watch out for our AI. Not that I'm comparing my son to AI by any means, but you know
Right.
what I'm saying? We kind of trained this thing. We trained it with all our guts and all of our fun and entertainment and our human recorded experience, right? Making art, that's what it is, you know?
Absolutely. The thing with AI, in and of itself, it's not evil or dangerous. It can be. And that's, I think, where the important aspect comes in. You've got to have, well, you're taking jobs from people. Obviously, as a nation, that's not a good thing. But
Yeah.
even more so, I've studied deep fakes using manipulated media. My husband was just saying, actually, he's like, there's nothing to stop people. We have the technology to, pretty much film a whole film with a few actors, and that's it.
Right.
And to me, it comes into how can we utilize this great feature and still, it's all about limits. It's all about finding a happy medium, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think at like some point, and I hate to kind of say this because it kind of sounds cliche in a way, but everything in moderation, and I understand that it's a new and exciting thing, and I understand how it can assist in a writer's process or a director or a producer or a below the line, above the line, and in so many different ways. I can see how it can assist, but it can't take over. It
Right.
can't replace humanity. And the very fight right now is not the rich people wanting to have more AI to raise their stock dollars and all these things. It's
I
it's
don't see that at all.
literally humanity fighting for a chance to still exist, because overnight millions of jobs can go away should
Exactly.
AI be the supreme the default. Everybody just goes to AI, then yeah, there's millions of jobs overnight from pre-production to post-production.
Absolutely. And again, to me, it also comes down to the public being fed what a few people, this is an extreme view, but the public being fed what they decide we want to see. You don't have the nuances of the actors. You don't have a writer saying, let's do this. When one piece, when the studio, one faction decides everything, you're really affecting culture on a whole.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and to be honest, there's
Yeah.
the amount of money it requires for the gives on most of the contractual issues on the union side. They can afford it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not a bank breaking situation for these,
And
CEOs.
this is also one thing that the studio is doing. And I talk about it, yes, from my perspective of being an AOTC member, but the industry really matters to me. Unions really matter to me. And the studios are trying to kind of wait for, for, well, for somebody to break. And they've got the money. They're really sitting back and waiting for that moment. And already, like I said, other unions are hurting because of the lack of work. All the unions are hurting. And it's really, I would say, even this is crunch time. It's really important that people stick together. And for people like, you know, your average fans, that means, I mean, there are a lot of ways that people can contribute. Go to a picket line,
Yeah.
belong to or follow SAG-AFTRA, WGA, all of it on, well, I don't know if you call it X or Twitter. I can't call it X, but they are constantly showing where pickets are being held. Go
Yes.
and participate. If you can't, bring some water, drop it off on your way. It's really important that these unions know that people back them. Um,
Yeah, I agree with you. And let me tell you something. I walked the picket lines, a few times, but this time that I saw you out there, there were fans of different projects that I worked on, and they walked right next to me, and we talked, and we vented, and I said, "Look, like I'm out here fighting like any other person to just be able to work. Like I have been for 20 years, coming up on 20 years, a more or less a paycheck to paycheck actor. I love what I do. I feel blessed that I can earn a paycheck to paycheck here rather than do my natural trade, which is, being a mechanic and working with my hands all day. I feel like a big kid. I get to play in this world. And I talk to so many people about we're lucky to be here. Everybody, we're lucky to build sets. We're lucky to light sets. We're lucky to play with cameras. We're lucky to do all this stuff, makeup, hair, wardrobe, you name it. Transpo, like I love the
Hair and
camaraderie on a transpo team more than anything. Like those are my
absolutely.
people. We get so tight. Every part of this business is miraculous. Should we stand down and let, the rich get richer? And we just can't have that happen. We have
Ab-
something
I feel
so
that
special.
strongly.
It's to be cherished like the last breath of air on earth, the arts and entertainment industry.
And it's like it always comes down to these people, all people in these unions, just wanting to be able to support themselves, to support their family.
Yes.
And you hear some people say all these ridiculous things like actors make millions and all that, but they're not just fighting for those people.
Right.
There are so many, as we've said before, all down the line. And
And,
it's
and there are actors that make millions, right? No doubt about it. And some of them have stepped up to the plate. I believe The Rock and Oprah have come off of Ryan Reynolds, Chris Pratt. Like I don't even know who, and forgive me for mentioning names that didn't get involved or did get involved. But what I'm saying is
I
the
understand.
truly good ones, the A-list multimillionaires that are having wildly successful careers are showing up for their fellow union members.
Absolutely.
That's right.
The list is incredibly long, and that's because these people know what matters. They know that if without these other people, they're not going to be able to do their work. And like I said, it's so important. There's an organization that I recommend people touch base with, which I pulled up on my phone.
Oh, good on you being all prepared for our podcast. Yeah, that makes one of us because I came here not even knowing who I was going to talk to, and I'm excited that you're as passionate about all this as I am.
Unfortunate. Oh, here it is. It's the Entertainment Community Fund. They
Yes.
are an excellent organization. They're designed to help people that are hurting right now. They're doing everything they can. Not you, although
Yeah.
you can get involved. For
Mm.
example, I have a lot of, I guess, excellent fan fan photographers. They have auctions all the time. Use what you've got. And that's the big picture. Use what you got, but don't sit on the sidelines, because
Yeah.
this isn't going to get resolved or advanced without our participation. Everyone, not just IATSE, not just the unions,
Yeah.
everyone who this matters to. You can look at, there are so many facets, whether you're pro union, any of that crap, but if you want what you enjoy, you've got to fight for it.
Well said. Well said. I mean, it's like a TED talk. I'm inspired, and I feel like we should go talk to the producers and let them know this is what's going on and this is how we feel. Look, I appreciate you coming on here and being prepared and talking about this with me. Also, I think it's important that it just shows that from IATSE to SAG-AFTRA to WGA to the DGA and every union in between, we're here. We want to keep working. We want to keep the camaraderie of the beautiful business of making arts and entertainment. Now, we've already taken a couple months off, so it's going to be such a delay before new materials even hits your TVs. It's unfortunate. Producers, come on, negotiate, help us out. We're here, we're pleading. We
Right.
want to get back to work. We want to work 12 and 15-hour days. We want to work Fraturdays, Fridays and Saturdays and
Right.
Sundays.
No,
Come
it's true.
on, put us to work. Allow us to create the magic that has put smiles on kids' faces for so many years,
Get the kids,
healed
everybody.
healed mothers' hearts, and done everything in between. Like, come on. Producers, come on! I'm pleading with you here.
They know that we want to resolve this. They just know how to use tactics that work for employers versus unions. And that's just the way it is. Last thing I wanted to say is, for people who think that, actors they don't need these things or whatever, educate yourself. There is a plethora of information on social media. Or you could just email the unions. You can
Yeah.
educate yourself, and that's really important. Anyway,
Yeah,
thanks for having
and you said some great things earlier that I just want to reiterate before we hop off. But I think go to the picket lines, show up. If you're a fan, show up as a friend and a supporter, and you'll walk next to maybe your favorite actor or director, writer, whoever, you never know who you're going to meet out there. I've seen people that I've been a fan of for 20 years. I've been in Hollywood and haven't met. So go out there, bring some snacks, bring some waters, bring a Lunchable. I don't know. Just knowing that you're out there walking and you're not alone in your own head, and going back to your own living room where you can't write and you can't rehearse sides and you can't block scenes, it's tough. So anybody out there that kind of feels some empathy, open some arms, give some hugs and high fives, and say, hey, it's not going to last forever, and we're going to keep fighting until the right choices are made, and that's what has to happen. We've been knocked down before.
Just affecting or supporting the unions while you're picketing. It's letting the public know this matters to us too.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Anyway, yes, I appreciate you having me. I'm glad that I was able to give some good insight, and I'll keep watching your show.
Yeah, this is awesome. Listen, we're new, we're fresh. A lot of it is me and my 8-year-old son chopping it up about wild and wacky things. But I really think this is, the strike has set me up to be in a place where the thing that I'm good at is talking to people and kind of allowing people to be comfortable enough to talk to me in a real conversation. And that's what I want to do. You know what I want? I want to look across at a person, and I want to understand them. I wish you were in the room with me right now. It's the only thing that would make it better is if we're sitting in 2 chairs. But next time we'll set that up.
That's fine.
Now's the time for me to expand and open up to everybody. I want to have all the conversations possible.
Very unique position. You're also so approachable. I saw you on a ticket line. I had no problem having that communication with you. So
good. And I want everybody to feel that way. I'm approachable. Come to me, talk to me. Let's heal each other. God knows I need as much healing as anybody else out there. One day at a time. Stephanie, thank you so much. I'm sending love and good vibes to you and yours, and I'm sure we'll see each other again. We're definitely going to cross paths, and I'm sure we'll be in communication.
Thank you. This isn't over. I'll show up anytime, anywhere.
I like it, and I appreciate you taking the time. All right, have a good day. Stay strong out there. Stay hydrated. It gets hot on those picket lines.
Thank you.
Bye.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.